Hello, hello, hello. You are watching SOS. My name is LaKeesha Hines, and I want to say thank you for joining me at this 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Tuesday at the beginning of your work week. Oh my goodness, you guys. The topic today, listen, I don't even know if you're ready. I don't know if you are ready for the topic today. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to get into it. But listen, I want to address something. You guys are kind of struggling with this 12 o'clock time frame. Some of you are like, LaKeesha, I love it. I love this daytime. It works. We're in a different time zone, so it totally works for me. And some of you are like, these are like nighttime after dark conversations. I think I got something that will help you out. I think I do. You'll let me know if it helps or not, right? So here's the thing. Moving forward, you're going to have lunch live with Lady LaKeesha, or you catch the replay for dinner. But most importantly, most certainly, have your spouse for dessert. Okay? Have lunch live with Lady LaKeesha. Catch the replay for dinner, but have your spouse for dessert. Listen, that should help everybody out, right? And if it doesn't, you'll let me know. But like I said, I asked you guys to tell me about this time frame, and most of you said you like it. So this is what we're doing. We're rolling with it. I want to say thank you so much again for joining. Drop where you're streaming from. I love to shout you out. You know that. If you have questions or you have comments, feel free to drop them in the comments. I love when we're having a conversation together. So make sure you let me know where you're streaming from. And like I said, if you have questions or you have comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. But are you guys ready? Are you ready for this topic today? I hope you are. Buckle your seatbelts because it might get a little bumpy. I'm just saying, I want to warn you and let you know. So today we're talking about makeup sex. We're talking about when makeup sex doesn't make up. When it doesn't make up whatever it is that you have in your mind that it was supposed to do, or better yet, what you think it's doing. All right. So we know many, many times if you have an intense romantic relationship, it often will include powerful arguments, which is then followed by powerful makeup sex. I don't know about you, but makeup sex has a reputation for being some of the best sex you can have, right? And why? Why is that? Why is it so intense? How can we jump from being insanely angry with somebody, literally ready to claw their eyes out, but then suddenly want this hot, passionate sex with them? Like, how is that humanly possible? I will tell you. It literally is a phenomenon called excitation transfer. And you guys can look that up. Excitation transfer. Pretty much the idea of this is if you have carry over arousal from like a fight or an argument with your partner that you bring into the bedroom, it can make the sex more intense. And we've seen it. It happens, right? So again, you can research it, look it up for yourself. Excitation transfer. And so it's appealing if we be honest with each other, right? Makeup sex, it's appealing. And a lot of people really, really look forward to having it. Like they get excited about makeup sex. So I want to break down why it's appealing, why people actually get excited about makeup sex. All right, you ready? Here we go. So we're going to talk about the uplifts and the downfalls of makeup sex. So this is the uplift. This is the part that gets you excited and like looking forward to having makeup sex. The first thing is that it actually brings us back to a state of connectedness with our partner. When you've been in a huge argument or had a fight with your partner, you feel so disconnected many, many times from them, right? So the makeup sex actually is a way to bring you back to that feeling of connectedness, right? And connection with your partner. So that is one of the reasons why it's appealing. The second reason why makeup sex is appealing is because it heightens our physiological and psychological states, and it frees us from all of the fight drama. When we're fighting, we again you just feel as if you literally could just jump out of your skin. Sometimes you're so angry, and that drama and that adrenaline and veins popping and blood pressure rising, all of those things. But when we have that makeup sex, it actually brings us back to, again, that state of connection, but also helps to release a lot of that stress and tension that's built up during the argument. Makeup sex is also great for bonding because, again, it's all about that connection and bringing you guys back together. And so it can be a good way to bond with your partner. It increases closeness between you and your partner. And the arguing pulls you apart. So it makes sense that people look forward to makeup sex or get excited about makeup sex because you've been pulled apart from the arguing, from the disagreement. You've been disconnected from the arguing, from the disagreement. And now here comes makeup sex to reconnect you, to make you feel close to one another again, increase that bond, and also reduce a lot of that stress and tension. Now, the next thing that makeup sex does, it actually releases the cuddle hormone. Who's heard of this? Drop it in the chat if you've heard of the cuddle hormone before. And really what that is oxytocin that is released from our brain, and it's naturally released when we have makeup sex. And so you get this feel good feeling, right? After you have that makeup sex. So again, that brings you this level of excitement and joy and peace and all of those things. And you feel relieved after you've had that makeup sex. It's also a great way to air out some of those pent up feelings that you might be having. And again, there's so much tension that builds up when there's been an argument, when there's been a fight, especially if it's gone on for several hours or several days. Sometimes couples are in an argument and disconnected for weeks. They have a huge argument, blow up fight, and may not talk for days or weeks sometimes. I remember being in a relationship with someone prior to my husband, and if we got into an argument, I would get the cold shoulder. Like I would get no conversation. I get stonewalling, all of that for days, literally, sometimes weeks. I think one time it even went on for like 2 months, which is insane, right? So, of course, you are running to the bedroom in a situation like that because you just want to get rid of the pent up energy and feelings that have been created and developed as a result of that argument. So, a lot of times during makeup sex, couples will often express this feeling or overwhelming sense of extreme positive emotions. And they actually report reaching a momentary state of bliss. Bliss, right? They declare these grand statements of love, and in that moment, they feel certain that they belong to each other. And let's be honest, when we're in a relationship with someone, we're all searching for certainty. We're all looking for confirmation. We're all looking for that moment where we know for sure that we know that we know that we know without a shadow of a doubt that we belong together. And so makeup sex gives you those feelings. Remember, I said it releases the cuddle hormone. So everybody's feeling all warm and fuzzy on their inside parts. And they're telling each other how much they love each other. And again, are confident that we belong together. And so, again, it can create all of those feelings, all of that positivity. And literally, makeup sex, it's a physical way of expressing that you're still there for each other, which is something else that I think is extremely powerful. extremely powerful to confirm with your spouse that you are still there for them, right? I mean, it just gives them that sense of confidence and clarity and certainty, all of those things that we all desire and that we need. Again, letting our spouses know that we're not going anywhere, that we're still here for them, and we're actually restoring a form of attachment, the closeness, the safety, the security that we all seek in a relationship, but specifically for women. And I've shared this with you guys before, the 4 things that women need: love, safety, security, and support. So that makeup sex a lot of times restores that attachment and the closeness, which makes her feel safe, makes her feel secure, and she's good to go for a time. Makeup sex also helps to bring whatever we're fighting about into perspective. It brings it into perspective because a lot of times things that we're fighting about, we're arguing about, it's really not that deep. It's not that serious. And sometimes the thing that we say that we're fighting about or we're arguing about isn't the real issue, and it's what's lying underneath. But at the end of the day, the priority should always be the union and the connection of the relationship. Sex can be an amazing way to reconnect as long as it's paired with verbal communication and resolution from your argument. It's wonderful to reconnect physically, but it can be so meaningful to talk about what happened too. So I don't know about you, but if something I can do can prevent future fights, that's what I'm trying to do. And that's not the makeup sex, people. That's the conversation. That's the resolution. And that's the piece many times that we don't get to because we jump into the bed. And I've said to you guys also multiple times, when we're working with couples, they come to me, they want to talk about sex. They want to talk about how can we fix our sex life. And I told you many times, the reason why there's an issue in the bedroom is because of what's going on outside of the bedroom, not necessarily specifically what's happening inside. Because what's going on in our minds and in our hearts and in our spirits can manifest itself physiologically. So if we have all these issues outside of the bedroom, we can't expect that they will just magically go away because we change environments or change settings, or because there ends up being a penis and a vagina, or a penis somewhere else. I mean, I'm just whatever. All I'm saying is we can't fix problems outside of the bedroom in the bedroom. The problems that exist outside the bedroom have to be fixed outside the bedroom, and the problems that exist in the bedroom, sometimes they're fixed in the bedroom, but a lot of times they're fixed outside the bedroom too. So we have to talk. We can't avoid it. We cannot get away from it. All right. So these are the downfalls of makeup sex. All right. We're going to, the uplifts of makeup sex. We're going to talk about the downfalls on the other side of this break. So do not go anywhere. Be right back.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, Stay up to date with push notifications. Share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're watching SOS. And again, my name is LaKeesha Hines. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, those of you who drop comments. Hello, Kim C. Good afternoon, Vincent. What's going on? What's going on? You met the flame to my fire. Yes, you did. And I will tell him you said hello, JD Pruitt. Hello, beautiful Kathy. Hello, how are you? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. So we're going to jump right back into this conversation when we're talking about makeup sex, when makeup sex doesn't make up. And right now, I'm going to tell you why it doesn't make up sometimes. Hello, Kenny. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, you guys. So we talked about the uplifts, and now we're going to talk about the downfalls. All right. First one, copulation replaces communication. Listen, makeup sex oftentimes replaces communication. If you're going to get it on, you can't turn the talking off. Okay? If you want to get it on, do not turn the talking off. Otherwise, you're just fighting, having sex, fighting, having sex, and so on without coming up with real solutions to your issues in the relationship. You have to have conversations, which is what we just started talking about right before the break. Second downfall, physical intimacy is often used in the place of emotional intimacy. This is one of the biggest mistakes couples make. Emotional intimacy literally is a key component of a healthy marriage. When we do not have emotional intimacy, when it's lacking, a relationship can suffer, and it will suffer. I know that emotional intimacy varies from one relationship to the next, but pretty consistently is characterized by feeling close, sharing feelings, and receiving validation. Mostly everyone wants their feelings validated, right? So I want to talk about the different ways that emotional intimacy can appear in a relationship. It can be having these long, meaningful conversations about hopes and fears and goals, dreams, aspirations, and any other feelings, right? Long, meaningful conversations. Also, it can be talking to each other about what happened during your day, what happened at work. And while you are listening to the other person, that's exactly what you're doing. You're not thinking about when you can jump in and interrupt like we did back in the day playing double dutch. You are listening and validate what it is that the person is saying. Make them feel safe. And then you switch roles, You were listening, now you're talking. Your spouse needs to listen, validate you, and make you feel safe. We have to make time to spend together to do things that we both enjoy. That is a way that emotional intimacy can be in your relationship, making the time to spend quality time together, doing things that both of you enjoy. Showing curiosity about each other's lives and experiences, feelings, and interests. You're really showing your spouse that what matters to you matters to me, and that you're important to me, and I care about what's going on with you and the things that are interesting to you. That validates your spouse's feelings and emotions, and also gives them a level of confidence that you guys are connected and that you're right in there together. Being willing to try new things that your partner suggests, even if it isn't something that you would normally do, like watching a new movie, trying a new restaurant, going to a concert, or for me, it would be sports, because I am really not into sports, but my spouse is. And so being willing to try new things. I'll give you guys another example too. Like I said, I'm not really into sports, but my son is an athlete. So of course I'm like team my son all day long. Whatever he's doing, I'm there, right? But this was really a stretch for me. So my husband loves to watch ESPN, and he listens to all of the commentators, all of the shows that come on. And I remember years ago, like I used to be annoyed. I'm like, oh my God, I've already had to sit through 3 football games, and now I got to sit and listen to all these commentators, sit here and sportscasters talking about breaking down play by play. I'm like, this is insane. I want to be done. I'm like, I survived the games, and now I have to sit through these commentators as well and sportscasters. But fast forward to present day. What I did, ladies, I'll give you a trick. I found a couple commentators that I thought were hilarious. Like they made me laugh. And so what ended up happening was, even though they're talking about sports, they're talking about the game, they're talking about football and all those things, it's still like they made me laugh. And so it made it fun. And so those of you who know Enneagram, I'm a 7, and 7s are all about the fun, right? So I had to find commentators that made me laugh. And so now I actually get excited about what they're talking about. Now I ask my husband, hey, let me know when this one's on. Let me know when that one's on so I can see what they have to say today. And now that's something that we can share with one another. So we do have to be willing to try new things, right? And whether your partner suggests it or not, be open. Be open. The another way that emotional intimacy can look in your relationship is empathizing with your partner. And like I said, validating their feelings, giving them emotional support. That is so important, to give your spouse emotional support. And it looks different. Ladies, the emotional support for you most times looks very, very different from the emotional support that your husband needs. So make sure that you guys are clear with knowing what that emotional support looks, feels, and sounds like. So when you're emotionally intimate with your spouse, you might feel like you can see into each other's soul. You know their hopes and dreams and fears, and you understand them at a deeper level. And that's what we're looking for. That is what we're looking for. All right, so let's get back to these downfalls of makeup sex. It reinforces fighting and emotional drama. We don't want that. Think about it. If you have amazing sex after you had a huge fight, doesn't it make sense to fight again when the reward is as good as this? So it can reinforce fighting and emotional drama. It's just like with our children. Also, if our kids do some, let's say they're attention seeking, right? Let's say they're trying to get attention from you, and they go and they break up something in the house. And even though you might punish them, or you might yell at them, if you're part of the spank crew, you might spank them or whatever, you still gave them attention. So that literally can reinforce their negative behavior, which is not what we want. And it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing with us. If we use makeup sex as a way to make us feel better after an argument, then that literally motivates us to keep fighting instead of resolving the issues, right? So I'm just saying, think about it. Think about it. All right, it isn't real intimacy. That's the I think the biggest out of all of these, that is the biggest downfall, that it isn't real intimacy. It literally is a momentary state of bliss. It's a momentary state of bliss. And we when we're declaring these grand statements of love, and when we feel in that moment that we're sure we belong together, like it creates this false sense of intimacy. Intimacy is about mutual love and balance, while drama is about extremes and fantasies. And makeup sex often reflects the unconscious fantasy to be able to make everything better with sex. It's not real. It's oftentimes after couples have this heated sexual moment during makeup sex that they feel sadder and even more lonely when the old feelings come back, because you realize, man, that didn't fix it. All it really did was delay what we're going to have to deal with anyway. So it's better to go ahead, get to a solution, solve the problem, solve the issue, and then have sex. That's the best sex, when you've been heard, you feel validated, you feel emotionally supported, you have that emotional intimacy. That's when the sex truly is explosive. right? And I just want you guys to know that, when we're in a healthy relationship, two people can come together after a disagreement and share physical intimacy because they feel close. And that's why I'm saying that's what makes it feel good. That's what makes it feel good. So, what do? How do we solve this? The next time you have a fight with your partner, with your spouse, and you later try to initiate makeup sex, I want you to sit with those feelings just a little bit longer and make sure that you're having sex for the right reason. Because if you're having sex just because you want to feel better in the moment, that's not the right reason. The sex is for connection and intimacy and getting to another level. And you have to have a extreme level of vulnerability when you're having sex with your partner, with your spouse. All right. If you find yourself in the middle of a sexual encounter and you realize in that moment that you're feeling confused, that you're feeling angry or sad, you need to gently pull back, explain to your partner that, you know what, I want to stop right now and let's try again later. And if your partner pushes you to explain in the moment exactly what's going on with you, you just tell, hey, you know what, I'm not sure, but I know that it'll make sense to me a little bit later. So let's pause on the pumping and the pushing and the pressing and let's try this again a little bit later. And I know that that's hard and it's difficult and it's uncomfortable, but checking in with yourself and communicating honestly and directly is the best way to keep a little problem from snowballing into a major, major problem. So again, like I said, the next time you have a fight with your partner, don't jump to makeup sex. Sit in those feelings, evaluate, assess, and make sure again that you're having sex for the right reason. And like I said, if you right in the middle, I understand it may be difficult to pause, but it will pay off in the long run to make sure that you're not creating this pattern of dysfunction and this pattern of thinking that sex is going to solve your issues or your problems. It actually can make it worse if it's not used and done in the proper way, in the proper context. So, like I said, in a healthy relationship, people can come together after a disagreement. They can share physical intimacy because they feel close. And I get that. But it's even better when you work to resolve the issues. The search for greater intimacy and trust isn't what motivates most makeup sex. Most makeup sex results from having feelings or expressing extreme negative emotions during a heated argument. There's no true resolution afterwards. So that's what causes most makeup sex. That extreme negative emotion, that heated argument, pressure rising, tension rising, and we don't have a solution. And this is our way of trying to control the situation, control our feelings and emotions. We feel like I just need to do something to make me feel better in this moment, because you just get sick and tired of feeling the negative extreme end of the spectrum. So we just have this extreme hunger to switch gears and jump to the opposite end of the spectrum, which is that bliss, right? To feel that high that comes with making up. And if you really, really think about it, it's not that different from an addict who needs a hit of cocaine. So again, we want to make sure that sex is always being used for the proper reason and the proper way for the right context, right? And that it is not there to fix problems, but it's there for connection with your spouse. All right. So I didn't see anybody drop any questions in the chat. So apparently you don't have any. You must be good on this whole makeup sex thing. So if it's good, you're good. I would say for sure, tell somebody else. Because if you're not struggling with it, that's great. But perhaps someone else is. So please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let the people know that SOS is here and I am saving our sex lives one bedroom at a time. I want to say again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be right back here next Tuesday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Don't meet me there, beat me there. All right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your week. And as I said, I will see you next week. All right, bye.